Now, what does she want to know about now?
Just show me, tell me about the people on the.
Well, that's my mother's Sunday school class. That's my mother there, and that's her Sunday school class. This is RQ and his wife, but you want pictures, and that's my brother. That was my wife there. Of course, that's, oops. That was Angela. You got it? That's Angela there, with that there. And that's James. And that's Glory Jean again. A lot of these pictures just keep repeating themselves. This is Roy Brookshire and his baby. And there's Angela again, believe it or not. She's about to shoot you. And that's the three of them together, Angela, James, and Glory Jean together.
Do that again.
Angela, Glory Jean, and James. That's when I only had the three. And, of course, that was me when I was in the Navy. You know, you can tell that, though.
Do that again.
And that one there, that's when I was in the Navy. Back in 43, I reckon that was. And that's my sister and her son and her daughter. And
the older lady there.
That's my wife's mother, Miss Shavers. Now, she worked in the cotton mill for, well, I reckon until she retired. And this is my mother and my baby here.
So that's the lady down there is the sister of the woman we talked with this morning. Did we get a picture of that, Jamie? Yeah.
Doris Shivers.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Doris
Shivers' sister.
No, that's not her sister.
Ah, I see.
Doris Shavers didn't have a sister.
Mm-hmm.
She only had a brother.
Mm-hmm.
You are talking about the kind of elder lady, aren't you? About my age, a little bit older?
Yeah.
That's Doris, but she doesn't have a sister. She has a brother. Now, this is Edna's mother.
Yeah. What I want to do now is to get a cutaway of his face. He's looking down.
Okay.
Sorry.
Roll them.
I can take that out of there.
Take a half step back. There you go. Nice.
That's me. That's me and my mother. She's older than me. And that's my older brother. That's my daddy. And that's my brother next to me, Shelby.
Do it again.
Buddy, Mama, me, Papa, and Shelby. Did they get it? Or did I cover it
No,
up?
you got it.
That's fine. Okay, good. Now, Jamie,
I'll do a reverse cutaway.
we just need, all right, now, go, Jamie.
Rolling.
Okay, now just turn the pages, please, sir. Slowly. And start pointing out pictures. Where's Angie?
Yeah, this is her right here. Going up the ladder. And this is her and James sitting on the bunk bed, and I was mopping the floor. I put them up there to get them out of my way. And my brother and his wife, right here. And that's my sister. You can't get a picture of her face. You can't see her face, but
Okay, that's fine, Jamie.
Ever tried to go fishing with
Okay.
a cast iron pole?
no,
First thing I want you to tell me about the strike of 34. What do you remember about it?
not too much. Like I told you before, it was just.
Don't ever say like I told you before.
Oh,
because
okay.
the audience knows this is the first time. It's just about the strike of 34. I don't remember much.
But well, I don't remember much except the soup line. I think, and they had that down on Second Act.
I just want to say, how old and
Oh, I was only,
wait a
what?
minute, wait a minute.
Oh, the camera. Maybe we better get it. Is the camera going now?
Yeah.
Well, I was 8 years old, and I remember the soup lines, and I remember the militia. Or did they call it the militia? That's about all I remember about it, and then, you know, people being out of work and everything.
What did you remember about the soup lines?
Just is dipping out soup out of a big boiler. I didn't go through the soup line, but I seen the people going through it. Like I said, I was only 8 years old, so that's hard for me to remember anything like that.
Where were you living at the time?
River Road, and right there where the Crystal is now, right across from where the Crystal is now.
You were telling me before about going up to the soup line, couldn't get any soup, so you and your brothers went into the bakery.
No, that wasn't the soup line. My brothers did go in the bakery, but they weren't supposed to do that.
What we're trying to do is to get some picture of what it was like during the Depression.
2 words, rough as a cob. That answers your question. It's rough as a cob. That was the time when the Echo was over there. They was giving out chicken broth where they had cooked chickens. And my brother, he went fishing with safety pin. And that's just how rough it was. It was rough. And there was a lot of people out of work. And other than that, I mean, I don't know any other way to explain it to you. It's just rough as a cob.
What did your folks do?
Well, my father had died at that time. And my mother was working in the mill. She got laid till they got laid off up there at the Meredith's Mill, and then we done the best we could. Now that's the whole thing in a nutshell.
What did you eat?
Boiled fish, chicken broth that we got from the Echo, and once in a while when Mama get a hold of some beans somewhere or another, I don't know. Like I said, I'm only about 8 or 9 years old. I don't remember really. But I do know is that a lot of times you go to bed hungry wondering where breakfast is coming from. Now, if anybody don't believe that, come ask me, I'll tell them.
Tell me about the National Guard being around.
Oh, they were up there around the mill.
Just started to say the National Guard.
Well, National Guard was up around the mills just keeping people from going in there.
Keeping the people from going in, I mean.
Yeah. They was keeping the people from going into the mills, and I reckon they was expecting trouble. I don't think they ever had any, not really.
Did you ever see the National Guard?
Oh, yeah, I seen them, like, when the time Mama took me up there to buy me get a pair of shoes. Now, where she got the money to get shoes, I don't know. But then I see the National Guard.
What were they doing?
Just walking around with the guns on the shoulders. You know, that strap on there. And she told me, let's go home.
What did she think about unions?
I don't know. I never heard her say one way or the other. She just, well, at that particular time, they were just trying to get a union started in this part of the country. And well, it didn't go over too well. They shut the Meredith's Mill down, said they would close the doors before they'd let a union organize in there. And they did. They closed the doors. They cut it till about 2 o'clock, or when the shifts changed. They was going to go on strike, and the man closed the doors, shut off the machinery, and closed the doors.
And then what happened?
Well, everybody was out of work. Some people had a garden, some people didn't, and ones that didn't have a garden was in a terrible place. I don't know and I don't know of any trouble at the National Guard. I mean, you know, any shootings, anything like that. Not personally, but I won't say it didn't happen either.
What about your own education?
I didn't have none. 6th grade. That's it. 6th grade formal education. I ain't quit learning yet. I'm 39 years old, believe it or not. No, you don't never stop learning. At least I did, and I'm still learning today.
What do you think, have you ever been a member of the union?
No.
What do you think of, I want you to talk about, what do you think about Angie's doing all of this?
That's her business. If it's all right with, if that's what she wants, it's all right with me. That's the way I've always been with my children. Whatever they want to do, as long as they wasn't robbing banks or something, now it was all right with me. As long as it was legal. If that's what she wants, so be it. I'll back her every step of the way. And she'll tell you that. I'll back her just like I backed her when she was going to school. I'll let her tell that one, though. She can tell it better than I can.
How long did you live in Columbus?
All my life, you might say. I was raised there, and went in the Navy in '43. Well, I come back in '46, and then we left again. I reckon it must have been when about 60 or 61. I didn't come back again till up in the 70s. Just wasn't no money to be made. I'll tell you, like my wife told a friend of hers, we come back to Columbus to see her mother. And we was over on 2nd Avenue at that, oh, I forgot the name of that store, but anyway, it's a clothing store over there. We was getting the kids up something from school. And this girl asked, my wife says, do you like it up there? She says, I like the money a whole lot better. So I made more money when I was in North Georgia, or up around Atlanta. And that's what she was going by, is the money I was making. And I think that people should get paid a decent wage, and anybody will tell you Columbus, Georgia is the cheapest darn town there is in the southeast, bar none. They even cheaper than Macon.
Why do you think that's true?
You don't want me to say that on film.
Why not?
I think people too darn sorry to pay anybody enough to live on because they're afraid they're going to get a little bit ahead and then they can't get them to work for nothing. Now, that's my opinion. They're afraid if they ever get a few dollars ahead, they're going to, like a man told me up in North Georgia, keep a man hungry and he'll work. That's the truth. Bert Hobbs told me that. He said, you keep a man hungry and he'll work. I don't like my family to be hungry. I don't guess anybody else does.
Well, why did you move out to the country from Columbus?
Oh, this is when I retired. So I wouldn't have to, well, you see, I got my garden and Social Security just don't pay enough to live on. I got a bunch of stuff I've canned up since I've been here, and with my little old gardens, I do all right. But that's the reason I come here. And it was getting too crowded and too darn much. Wife had a nervous breakdown. It's down there in that. Anybody knows about 47th Street, and that's where we was living. Everybody knows about that place. Matter of fact, there's been a couple of killings up there lately.
Now, did your wife work in the mills?
No, she worked at Tom Houston's. Oh, wait a minute. She worked 2 weeks in the mill. That's all she worked. The rest of her time, she worked at Tom Houston's.
And you never worked in the mills?
Just before I went in the Navy, I worked about a year in the mill. When I come back out of the Navy, I wasn't going back in that cotton mill if I could help it. So I picked up a hammer.
Why not?
Well, I'm going back to the time I was. It's too much like a damn concentration camp, if you want to know. They didn't pay nothing. They worked you all kinds of hours, and they was always threatening you to fire you, to go and hire somebody else. Who wants that kind of a deal? That's the way it was in 46 when I first come back. I told them to take that job. And how would Johnny Paycheck say that now? Take this job and shove it. And I went into construction work and been in it ever since.
I was wondering about health problems of people who were in the mills, if you knew anything about that.
Not really. I know a lot of them come out. Sam Turner, he come out of the mill. A lot of them come out, but I don't know of any health problems except alcohol, and I think the mill contributed to that, driving a man crazy. Them cotton mills back in the 40s was nothing to sneeze at. They'd tell you quick if you won't work if you give them any back talk, they'd tell you quick as a barefooted boy standing at the door waiting for your job.
Now, could you say that, just say back then and not just say the 40s, okay?
Well, back then, you could, they'd tell you quick if there's a barefooted man waiting for you at the door waiting for your job. And they told me that, I just said, well, goodbye. I think they told me I couldn't leave. And I told them, watch me.
Now, when you were in the mill, was there any talk about a union?
That was during the war.
Well, now we've had a number of people who've been scared to talk with us about all of this. Why do you think that is?
When I was in the mill, I was only 16 years old. Oh, wait a minute, I'll take that back. One time a union was mentioned. And a bunch of us got together to go to the office. We was going to demand higher pay. Everybody walked out but me. Then I walked out later, but before the man got there from the office, everybody got up and walked out but me. There ain't nobody stand behind it. That was the problem. If you get enough people to stand behind it, it'd be just like it was up north, up Detroit and back up in there. You can get better pay. But you got to get the people to back you up. Now, I understand in Michigan, back up in there, they have what they call closed shops, where you can't, if you're not non-union, you don't work. And I reckon that's the best way. I don't know. Like I said, when I left the cotton mill in 1946, I went in construction work, and I stayed there. Oh, I worked at other jobs, you know, but I'd always going back to construction work. And when I went back to Atlanta in '60, I never held nothing but a construction job from then on.
I want you to, could you think about that story that you told about your brothers and the bakery? It just illustrates the Depression so well. I wonder if you could think about that.
They went in there, broke in the bakery and stole some
cakes. Started, my brothers.
Oh, my brothers, they went into the bakery, broke in the bakery and stole some cakes and pies so we could eat. That was it. Of course, they had to hide the pies in the sewer, but that's beside the point. They was wrapped up good in cellophane. They did. They hid the pies in the sewer. I hope they don't come out here and arrest me. Oh, that's been 50 years ago. I don't reckon it will. I think the statute of limitations run out on that one. I don't know where I'm doing you any good or not.
It's fine. 2 or 3 other things. There's been a big change in the relationships between the blacks and the whites. We were at the Union Hall yesterday, and there were about half blacks and so forth. Could you talk about that change, what you saw when you were a child and now?
Well, now, when I was a child, and I can only speak for myself, when I was a child, my mother taught me to call the older black people, what we would call a grown person. Mind you, I'm back 8, 9 years old. And I was told to call the men uncle and the women aunt. And as far as I was personally concerned, I didn't have any prejudice against them. But I'm only speaking for myself. And when I went in the service, I still didn't have no problem with them. Of course, when I went in the service, it was mostly white. We didn't have but one black man aboard ship. It was mostly white. But as far as prejudice is concerned, I didn't have it back then because my mother taught me they was human beings too.
Now, what about the in the mill?
I don't know about the mills. I know that they didn't run no spinning jobs and no weave jobs and nothing like that. They were mostly janitorial help, I'd call it. They swept the floors and did the heavy work, working on the docks, moving them bales of cotton around, such as that. At least that's what I was told. Now, I really don't know except for the floor I was working on, and they were sweepers then.
Did you know any of them?
Not personally, no. I was told not to mistreat them, but right on the other hand, to keep my distance. And as far as associating with them, I reckon we associated about as much as any of them, especially after I got into the construction work. You're going to associate with them then, believe me.
Where did they live in Dip City?
The black people? They live between 23rd and 24th Street, right on the railroad. And then across the railroad over there was a place they called the Bottoms, that they lived over there. That's over on Lower 10th Avenue. But there was some that lived over there between 18th and, I believe it was between 18th and 20th Street. It was a big place of them over there. And some of them lived up in Bellwood, but they were separated from the whites.
Okay, finally, Bill Wynn on the newspaper has been talking to us about the Ku Klux Klan. I wonder if you had any experience with them.
I did not. There was one time that they got on a man, but he had it coming.
Good to say, I didn't have any association with the Ku Klux Klan.
I didn't.
Okay. I just need you to say the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, I didn't have it. I didn't have anything to do with the Ku Klux Klan. That.
Do you know any? So then, nowhere around you did you see them in action?
I didn't know.
Did
I
you
had
ever-
heard of it, but I didn't see it.
That's what. Did you ever see any of the big Labor Day parades?
Not here, no.
We read about it in the papers, and I just wondered if you, as a child, if you remember. In the early 30s, there was a lot of country music around Columbus. Do you remember any of it? Could you talk about it?
Not in the early 30s, no. You're talking about now when I wasn't nothing but I was born in 26. So, in the 40s, there was a good bit of it. Johnny Barfield, for one. And I don't remember their names, but there was a couple of bands that played for dances and things like that. The one they had down at Textile Hall, that was in the early 40s. And then I left in mid-40s, and I didn't come back till the late 40s. I left in 43.
What about the baseball teams at the factories? Mills.
No, I didn't know anything about them. Has somebody talking about a baseball team? Well, they might have been. I couldn't say yea nor nay to that.
What's the big difference between Columbus now and Columbus when you were a kid?
Not a whole heck of a lot. The only is they got bigger and fatter. It's still who's got the money. Now, the man with money in Columbus can really get along. Man ain't got no money, he's SOL. And I hope you know what I'm talking about. If you don't have nothing down there, you out of luck. Because they're going to keep you down just as long as they can. You go right back, there ain't a whole lot of difference, because right now, if you ain't got nothing, you don't have the money, and you're working for cheap wages, they're going to keep you on cheap wages just as long as they can. And like I said a while ago, it's to keep the man from getting a little bit ahead to where he can really make something out of himself, or do something. If you got a man hungry, he's going to work. That's what Bird Hobbs told me, and I believe it, and I believe it's all over Columbus the same way. And I didn't personally hear him say it, but they had said it was told. Gene Talman said a man in a pair of overalls wasn't worth $1 a day. Well, Herman can get mad about it if he wants to, but it's the truth.
Can you just say that one more time about old Gene?
He said a man in a pair of overalls wasn't worth $1 a day.
Could you start off and say Gene Talman said?
Oh, Gene Talman said it, a working man wasn't worth $1 a day. That was back in the 30s. So he'd run for governor in 46 and he died then, I believe it was.
Did you ever see Gene in action?
No. No, when he was so active, I was too little, and then I went, like I said, and then when I went in the service and I come back, he died in 46. But I don't doubt what the people said about him.
He made a lot of big speeches here in Columbus in 33 and 34.
He was running for governor.
Yeah.
And he was running on a bloody shirt.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know exactly, unless he's talking about killing somebody. Oh, back in the 30s, they were really down on the blacks. And he'd holler nigger and wave a bloody shirt, and a lot of these people voted for him because of that. I hope I don't have to leave.
Herman's in Washington. He's a long way from here.
No, Herman ain't either. He's in Lovejoy. He ain't a senator no more.
That's right. I forgot about that. I forgot about that. He isn't a secretary.
He's in Lovejoy.
That's right.
I
That's
still
right.
remember reading about when they tried to have Herman succeed Gene.
Yeah, we're the only state that had 3 governors at one time.
The king is dead, long live the king.
Yeah. That would all happen in 46. And let's see, there was Herman Talmadge, Ellis Arnold, and who was that other fella now? Anyway, he was elected lieutenant governor, and he was going to take over the governorship. Herman wasn't going to have that. Of course, the legislature was the one that put Herman in office. Of course, you know, that all come out in court later. And he had to wait another term. Boy, that was a mess. Lonely state with 3 governors at one time. Ellis Arnold wouldn't give it up. Herman Talmadge moved him out. You heard about him taking the state patrol up there and moving Ellis Arnold out of the Capitol. Yeah.
I heard a locksmith in the Capitol got some real quick work that night, too.
I just don't know.
How's your worm business?
Well, I just got started in it. I done sold maybe 1 or 2 packs, but I just got started in it. It'll pick up.
Dad, rolling.
Good soil for him.
Huh?
Good soil for him.
Oh, I've been working on this soil ever since I've been here.
What do you put in it?
A leaf mold, sawdust,
Yeah.
hay.
You keep a mulch and put your garbage in it, that kind of thing.
No, I don't put.
You don't make a humus pile or anything like that.
Well, it don't have no garbage or anything like that, but it does have. Well, I guess in a way that'd be because sawdust and hay
Yeah.
and old leaves, pine straw.
Okay, we'll start you working on the trellis roses there, then move to your white one, and then move to this big one in the middle. Okay, go again. Okay, go to the white one now.
Ouch! Grab. This is a yellow one. This is not a white one. I wasn't gonna do anything to it. Here we go. We need some cutting to be done right here. Mm. This is my white rose. That ain't got no roses on it. I ain't figured out why yet either. Good boy. This don't need no cut. Oh, wait a minute. Doesn't have to be cut, though. Oh, these fix to start blooming again.
You get good tomatoes out of your garden?
I hope so. I usually do. These are really not ready yet. I like to see them. I got some back here down here fixing to get ready. Yeah. I don't know where I should pull them boogers or not. I don't think I will. I'll just take them to her. I'll have my truck back next day or two. This one's fixing to go rotting on the vine though. I can't leave that there. Uh-oh.
My little friend inside chomping away.
Yeah. Let me get this one right here. Here, right there.
Yeah, good shot there. Oh yeah, some decided to have lunch.
Mm-hmm. I'll be glad I ain't boiled a bunch of these dang things, stuck them in the window too. I hate that. No, I'll see what I can do with that. So you gonna see Angela again tonight?
No, you won't see it tonight. We'll see it tomorrow.
Well, you know what to do with these when you get them in the sun?
Yeah.
Tell her to, well, she knows what to do. I love the smell of them things. Just go out in the yard and pick your dinner off the vine. How about that? Hey. See all them blooms on them things yet? All them little yellow things there are the blooms. That ought to be enough. You lay these up in the sun, where the sun can get to them, they'll turn just as pretty and red. Make fine sandwiches. You can get a sack for them. Should be a sack in the house somewhere.
Okay, could you tell us how and when you got into the mills and what you did?
Well, when I got into the mill, I learned how to spin. That's what I done, and that was my job. And I went to work in Poland, Georgia. Then I was 14 years old, and made 10 cents an hour. Worked 8 hours a day.
When was that?
Oh, I was 14. I'm 84. You might as well say now. I don't remember what year it was in. Yeah. Then we left there. Papa moved to Fairfax, Alabama. I went to school there. Then he left there and went to Thomaston, and I went to work in the mill because I wouldn't go back to school no more. And then we moved from Thomaston to Manchester. And I worked there 16 hours, 12 hours a night on the night line. Yeah.
Tell us what it was like working in the mills.
Oh, I liked it. Really did. It's hard work, but you had a lot of fun, too.
Could you tell us about the fun?
About what?
The fun.
Fun, what we made? Well, then I made it in Manchester. I made pretty good. I made about $15 a week. That was good, you know, back then.
You mentioned that you had a lot of fun. Tell us about the fun you had.
Well, when you got your job caught up, you could talk and do what you wanted to do, you know, have fun then. Enjoyed it. We always pretty well had good bosses to work for. So we made it pretty good.
Now, when did that change?
We left Manchester in 2023, moved to Columbus. So I've been working in Columbus, you might say, ever since.
Do you remember when the NRA came in?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about that.
I don't know too much about it because I didn't try to keep up with it. I hear them talk about it, but I just didn't care for it.
Did you remember when the hours got cut to 8 hours?
Oh, yeah, when Roosevelt went in.
Tell us about that.
Well, we thought we had it made then. We didn't have to work but 8 hours a day, go to work and get home early. We enjoyed that. Sure did.
Did you have to work any harder?
No, they didn't. We didn't have no more job than we did, but they raised wages, you know. We made $2.40 a day. I did then. Of course, my husband Dolph down there, he made a little bit more than I did.
Could you describe what the conditions in the mill were?
Oh, they was pretty good. It was hot, and we didn't have no air conditioning or nothing, but we didn't need it. We wasn't used to it. Had never had it, so you didn't miss such as that, you know. Raise the windows and go ahead.
Do you remember any strikes?
Oh, yeah, they had one at the Eagle in Phoenix.
Tell us about that.
Well, a lot of people lost their jobs on account of it. So it was pretty rough for a while. But we went back to work after so long a time. We got laid off for it, but we went back to work.
Did you join the union?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, we joined it, and they was going to
No,
do...
sorry, just say we joined the union.
Yeah, we joined it, yeah.
Just start off, just say we joined the union.
We joined the union, yeah.
And what happened?
And naturally, they didn't do what they promised, you know, and so we was left out in the cold. They left, so we didn't have nothing to fight with. So they ended it up that. And so that's the last one they ever had, I guess.
Now, that's exactly what we want to get. You say the union left, you joined the union left.
Yeah, they
so
left.
You tell the whole story.
Yeah, they left town. I don't know where they went to, but they pulled out, yeah. They left. They was going to do great wonders, but they didn't do anything.
Did you ever know anything about any other union?
No, that's the only one I know anything about.
Now, I understand that women took a big hand in the picketing and so forth.
Oh, yeah, they did. I was one of them, too.
Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, we walked the picket line. We had a lot of fun doing that, too. My brother'd walk it, and then he'd get tired of walking the picket line. He'd go inside the mill and work. He's pulling it both ways. Yeah.
Would you tell me what the women did?
They just walked. They didn't fight or nothing. They just walked. Yeah. We all lost our job on account of it, too.
Do you remember any songs you sang?
No, I don't. They sang some, but I don't remember them. It was a lot of fun to go down there. Everybody was down there, you know, and enjoyed it.
Do you remember the troops being here?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Talk about that.
Well, they was down there, and there was a lot of trouble to start with, but they finally got them quieting down. They had more trouble at the Bibb than they did anywhere else. So I stayed away from there. I didn't have no business up there.
But you saw the troops?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Describe them.
Well, they was in uniforms. Just ordinary people, you know, just in uniforms. They didn't bother nobody unless they got bothered. They seen that people didn't go in the mill, you know, and work. Some of them would go up there and slip in anyway. Yeah.
Did they have bayonets on their guns and so forth?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There was one, they had a shooting up there. One man shot. He was working up there, but they didn't hurt nobody.
We've been talking, I was talking the other day with Mr. Tidwell. Do you remember him?
No, I don't, no.
Well, he was in the strike at Eagle and Phoenix.
Yeah.
And he was telling me that that they had people deputized to guard the mills. Do you know anything about that?
No, I didn't know nothing about that. No, I sure didn't. They probably had more than I knowed about.
Do you remember any literature, pamphlets, anything like that?
Yeah, but I don't remember what they read. I'd read them, but I thought it didn't mean nothing to me. I throw them away.
Now, you said that the union made all these promises. Could you describe how the union
came
to town and how they presented their ideas to you?
Yeah, they were going to make, use the
word union so people know what you're
unions. And they was going to give us big wages, you know, get that for us and things like that, and they didn't do anything.
How did they come to town?
I really don't know. I don't know how they came to town. They had a union hall down here on First Avenue, you know, and we'd go to the meetings down there. And they made people think they were going to get a lot. But it didn't work that way.
Do you remember the Labor Day parades?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tell us about it.
Well, there's a lot of fun. Them Labor Day parades was. We'd go out. We'd go down there sometimes, then we'd go to the Uchi Creek and have a picnic. It was fun. There wasn't nothing else to do.
How did you feed yourself during the strike?
Well, we didn't eat very much. We finally had to go on welfare, you know. They give us a little bit, but it wasn't much they gave us. And my husband went to work for WPA, and so I didn't have no job. till I finally went back to work. I went to work at the Bib. Then I went back to the Eagle. I think they forgot about it.
How many children did you have at that time?
I had 3. Yeah.
Now, I often wonder how you people, when you were working in the mills, what you did about your children.
Well, me and my husband worked different shifts. When we worked all day, we had somebody kept him, and some of our people. But when we went to work on 8 hours a day, I worked one shift, he worked the other, and that's the way we raised them. We weren't able to hire no babysitters.
Where did you live?
Oh, I lived all over Columbus. I lived down in Boogerville, and I lived in North Highland, I lived in Jordan City, all around here.
Did you ever live in mill owner housing?
Oh, yeah, this was a mill house. Yeah.
Tell us about buying it.
Oh, they sold them to the workers over there, and nicely they sold them to us real cheap. Give $3,500 for mine. Paid $29.54 a month on it till I got it paid for. They were pretty nice about it. That was the Jordan people, had it then. They treated us right.
Could you talk about the bosses and the supervisors?
Over at the Jordan? Oh, yeah, they were real nice. Mr. O'Neill was, and Mr. King was our superintendent. They just didn't make them no better than he was. And Robert Carswell was my overseer on the 3rd shift, and he was real nice. Got along with all of them.
Now, the 3rd shift was?
From 11 to 7.
Could you go through your day and tell me, if you worked from 11 to 7, just tell me.
Worked through the day. Well, it was just continue working, and we worked from 11 to 7, cleaned up the job, and left it straight. That's all they required of us.
And then?
And then that was about it.
But tell about the rest of your day.
Well, I come home and went to bed. Then I'd sleep about 2 o'clock and get up and cook supper. And then I'd get ready to go to work that night. I mostly always worked at night. I worked when they run 12 hours a night, when I was just 14, 15 years old.
Do you think that ever hurt you?
No, it didn't hurt me. I think that's the reason I look and feel as well as I do. And I worked doubles, too. Worked a lot of them.
Tell me about the rest of your family in the mills.
Oh, none of my children worked in the mills, but my daughter, my youngest daughter, she's went to work since the 30s. But the rest of them didn't work in the mill. They got them a better job. She taken after her mama. She went to the cotton mill. But she makes a good living.
Could you tell us about your education?
That's very easy. I went to the 2nd grade. Didn't have time to go to school. I had to work. That's right. That's the highest school I went.
So where did you get your education?
Poland, Georgia. What little I got.
But I mean since then.
Well, I just picked it up myself. I learned, read and write my own self. Yeah. We moved about so much, and when I was ashamed, done got too old to go, so I wouldn't go at all. So I went to work.
Did that ever hurt you in terms of the job?
No, but I understand it does now. They require it. But all my kids got a good education. We've seen to that. But kids back then, they had to work, They didn't have time. The parents had to have us to work. We didn't keep our money either.
Talk about the diet. What did you eat?
We ate dry peas and butter beans and rice and such as that. Couldn't afford much more. Yeah. Maybe buy some meats on the weekends.
What about gardens?
Yeah, we always had a garden, yeah. Yeah, we fixed us a garden. That helped a lot. I don't do nothing like that now, though.
Was your father a farmer?
Oh, yeah.
You might talk about that.
Yeah, we farmed well, I was 10 years old and he left the farm. Of course, the boys was older than I was, and they went to work. So as soon as I got 14, I went to work too. When you got old enough, you went to work in the mill.
Now, we've heard from a lot of people a phrase called lint heads.
Yeah, that's what they used to call them, yeah.
Called what?
Lint heads. You come out with much. I always comb my head, though, before I come out of the mill. But you got plenty of lint in them, all right.
Some people feel bad about that. How do you feel?
It don't make me feel bad. It was honest. I think what's honest is all right.
Okay, I'm sorry. Jamie says that he missed that. Could you explain why they were called lint heads, and then how the fact that you weren't bothered by it?
Oh, by what?
Just explain. We have to do this.
Yeah.
Why they were called lint heads.
Well, I think because people would go out of the mill with the lint oil in the head. I think that's what got them started to doing that, yeah.
And how did you feel about it?
It didn't bother me, because I'd comb mine before I left anyway. I might stay out stopping time, but I'd comb my head. But you know, some people just don't care.
Some people seem to feel that they kind of resent other people looking down on them.
It didn't bother me because it was honest and I felt good about it. I had a job. It was better than farming. Yeah, a lot of people tried to look down on people that way, but I didn't. I liked the mill. I'd be at work now if they'd hire me. I worked a long time after I retired. They couldn't take insurance out of me, but I worked. I told them I didn't need that anyway. I had some. Yeah.
Why do you think you're so strong?
Well, I reckon because I had plenty of beans and peas to eat. I always had to work and didn't have time to get weak. I tell you, my daddy learned us to work. We had to work. Everybody worked at my house. When we farmed, we all hit the field. And when we got 14 years old, we went to work. But I reckon they had so many kids back then, everybody had to work. There was 8 of us.
When was the last time you went into the mill?
I don't think I've been over in. I ain't been in the mill since '69. I retired. I pass by there once in a while, but I don't go in there.
Could you talk about the difference between the mill when you first started working there and when you left?
Oh, yes. The machinery was a lot better, newer and all. You know, the old machinery was pretty bad. It was done worn out. And they had modern frames and everything then. When I quit, it was a lot better.
And what about the noise and dust?
Well, it didn't. The noise didn't bother me. The dust got bad sometimes, the cotton, the lint. But the dust didn't bother me because I worked in the spinning room. Yeah, we had a lot of lint, but it didn't bother me. I kept it out of my face anyway.
Did you ever wear a mask?
No. They wear them now in some of the mills, I know. No, we didn't wear none. I don't guess they even thought about such as that.
Did you ever see a film called Norma Ray?
No. No.
It was just a film about somebody who worked in a cotton mill. I just wondered what you
Yeah,
thought.
no, I never did hear about that, no. You hear a lot of jokes about a mill if you pay attention to them.
Tell us some.
I done forgot them all, and it's been so long since I worked. Yeah. They used to tell jokes and tales all get together, but they went out of one ear and in the other with me. Yeah.
So, explain why you missed the mill.
Well, I miss going to work because after you work so long, you're not satisfied. You're not happy at all. So when I first retired, I stayed out 4 weeks and went back to work. When I went back to work, and then I worked on till the last of the year. Till they shut down over all except the first shift, and I told them that I'd already was drawing my money. And I wouldn't try to work then because a lot of them needed it worse than I did. When I retired, I got me a job. I went to work at the nursing home. I was a volunteer out there 3 years. And I worked on Sunday down here at the Ironworks, you know. And there they had a job for us to do, show people around. I enjoyed that. I didn't be still. I didn't sit down when I retired. I'd have went crazy. Yeah. My husband said he wasn't going to look for a job but didn't pay nothing. I told him that was a pleasure. You didn't have to sit at home.
Judy, do you have any ideas?
Did you ever shop in the mill? Did you buy your food in the mill store? Was there a mill store connected to your mill?
No. The big mill has a store, you know, but it don't have it up there, a mill store, not in the mill. No, I didn't want none of the material like I worked with it, no how.
I meant your food. And
Yeah, they had machines, you know, in there. Along towards the last sandwiches and things you could get if you wanted to. But I didn't need them because I didn't like to get them out of them machines. So.
You talked about having a good time, that when you had a good time online. Was there ever a time when you had so much work to do that it wasn't any?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of times like that there was, yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, sometimes our job gets run so bad we couldn't run it. And me and my friend worked right side by side. We run the whole alley by ourselves, you know, her part and my part. So we couldn't get them straight. We stopped them all off, got them straightened out. So we got them straightened out and go back and work some more. Yeah, it get pretty bad over there sometimes, but I always know where the belt was, where that stopping thing was. That's what we'd do too. Robert might come along and give us a hard look, but it didn't matter.
What about I've heard people talk about the stretch out. Could you tell me about that?
Yeah, that's when they raise wages, you know, and they give us more frames to run for the same money.
How did that affect you?
Well, I run more frames and less money. Same I was getting, you know. Because either work or go somewhere else and they'd do the same thing. I worked my last 20 years over here at the Jordan.
Could you tell us about that? That seems to be a particularly different mill from others.
Yeah, it was. It was different. It's a lot different. The spinning and all, the machinery. It was a lot different, but it was run better. I enjoyed working on it better. And there were newer frames than what they did have at the Eagle and Phoenix and Old Swiss too. Yeah.
Now, back to the 34. Mr. Tidwell was telling us about the deputies coming out there and taking guns away from the fellows in the mill. Do you remember anything about that?
No, I didn't. I never did hear nothing about nobody having guns in the mill. That was something new to me. No. Now, they might have other parts. I worked in the spinning room. Yeah. Everybody got along in the spinning room. We never did hear of no disturbance like that.
Now, the spinning, as a spinner, you got paid more than anybody else, didn't you?
Oh, no, we didn't get paid. The wheel shop paid more than the spinning did. Yeah. But I didn't like the wheel shop. That's too much noise. I went to the spinning room. My parents worked in the wheel shop, all my people excepting me. There's 8 children, and all 7 of them worked in the wheel shop excepting me.